Welcome to the Canadian Beef Cattle Podcast, presented by the Beef Cattle Research Council. The most popular content from beefresearch.ca, available on the go. Before we get into this week's episode, a quick message from the BCRC.
Ever wonder how your herd stacks up or where there's room to improve? The BCRC's Cow-Calf Production Indicators Calculator makes it simple. By entering just 15 numbers from your operation, you can compare your results to industry targets and regional benchmarks from the most recent cow-calf surveys. This tool helps you identify strengths, spot opportunities, and make informed management decisions to boost efficiency and profitability. This episode is titled, Innovative Water Initiatives to Improve Herd Health.
Brian Windover and his son Scott own and operate Bayview Farms in Napanee, Ontario. Their operation includes a 90-head commercial Gelbvieh and Gelbvieh Charolais cross cattle herd that is Verified Beef Production Plus certified. The farm includes 250 acres of pasture land with both treed and open fence lines. Two of the pastures border Hay Bay, a bay of Lake Ontario, and are fenced off to deny cattle access to the bay. Maintaining good water quality has always been a top priority for Bayview Farms, leading them to implement several changes to reduce manure contamination and ensure an abundant supply of drinking water for their cattle. The main source of drinking water for the cattle comes from a spring-fed pond which feeds a well. Water is pumped from the well into troughs in the barn. Cattle are kept away from the pond with a dirt berm and concrete barriers. Despite this, Brian and Scott still noticed that the water was discolored and smelly, particularly after heavy rainfall. Over time, as the farm changed and the buildings were modified, more manure built up in the barnyard. A low point developed near the barn and close to the pond where the water pooled. The manure contaminated the surface water, which leached through the ground and affected the water quality in both the pond and the well. Knowing that poor water quality can negatively affect cattle health and weight gain, the Windovers came up with a reasonable and cost-effective solution. The first solution was a filter bed that was built to take contaminated water away from the pond and filter it. And the second solution was the addition of quarter-inch clearstone gravel in the low spot by the barn, along with a 250-foot run of perforated pipe with quarter-inch clearstone. Brian and Scott did the work themselves, completing the filter bed during the summer months when there were no cattle in the yard. The main costs for the project included perforated Big O pipe, a load of clean rock, and the time they spent. Brian feels there was a return on investment from the higher quality water for the cattle through improved health and performance. Despite Bayview Farms being a stone's throw away from Hay Bay and Lake Ontario, drilling a well in the area is not guaranteed to lead to abundant water. The area also occasionally experiences drought conditions. This prompted Brian to come up with an alternative way to improve water access through the installation of a water capture system on two of the operation barns, a 50-foot by 100-foot main barn and a 24-foot by 48-foot addition. Rainwater from the barn roofs is captured in an east trough, drained through a solid pipe, and then pumped into the pond. This simple system has been a success by increasing the water available in the pond, as well as keeping the areas around the yard dry. So, some key water management takeaways from this episode are, number 1, fence off ponds and other water sources to prevent cattle from directly accessing and contaminating them. Number 2, monitor water sources and address contamination to prevent long-term issues. And number 3, cost-effective measures like filtration systems and rainwater capture can significantly enhance water quality and availability. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. You can find all relevant links and information at beefresearch.ca or in the show notes. The Beef Cattle Research Council is funded by the Canadian Beef Cattle Checkoff and strives for excellence in the production of Canadian beef, cattle, and forage through research, innovation, and extension. Tune in every Tuesday as the Canadian Beef Cattle Podcast delivers straightforward insights, expert information, and a wealth of practical knowledge for Canadian beef producers. Subscribe now